Hello there. I'm Timothy St. John McIntosh Pendergrass Jingleheimer Schmidt St. Hubbins the 7th. Today we're here, Black Student Initiative, BSI. We have a special guest today, world renowned, the one and only Mr. Christopher Booker, self-made author and political scientist. And we're going to ask him a series of questions about a thing or two about life. Here at BSI, we're promoting black empowerment. We're promoting the growth and development of students worldwide. So, without further ado, let's get right into these questions. Mr. Booker. Hello everybody, I'm Christopher Booker, author of the new book, Mentally I'm Strong. Just graduated from Southern Illinois University about 90 days ago with a degree in political science. What is this new reality that you speak of for black students and blacks around the world? The new reality that I speak of is something that we can accomplish, something that we can get to in a short amount of time, a reality where black students are actually achieving, a reality where black students are actually being taught. Do you know that 1 out of 4 young black males graduate high school in the top 10 metros in the United States? Do these black students value the education that they get in the public schools? I know what you're going to say. You're going to say that some actually make it out of the circumstances, but we're trying to actually make it where all of the black young boys and girls are actually making it out and making that a norm, and not one making it out and that's the exception and never actually getting 3 out of 4. Every single African American student graduating high school, going on to college and graduating college. This is a brand new reality where we talking about financial management. We managing money better. A brand new reality where we helping one another. A brand new reality where progress is being made. Moving along to the subject of education, public, private, community college, what else can the black student do in order to get ahead as far as bettering themselves? The subject of education is not hard to come by. The problem with education in public schools is, number one, we got brand new metal detectors in most of the schools and old books. Or we trying to get the student to conform to what the school has going on and not the school conforming to what the student has going on mentally, psychologically, things that's going on at home. Public school, we want to teach arithmetic, mathematics, reading, and history. But what about informing these kids on politics, social problems, how to psychologically deal with what they got going on. How many of these grade school kids actually getting 10 minutes worth of economics and financial management in grade school, high school and college? I mean, if you're not an econ major in college, you don't know anything about financial management. If you're not a business major in college, you don't know anything about turning 15 cents into $1, starting big time corporations. Somebody just thinks that you actually supposed to know this stuff when you get to college. But a lot of these black students not being taught that at home. We know they're not being taught that in grade school, not in high school, never being taught that. So you just supposed to know how to balance the budget, aka balance your pockets out and get you to a place where you need to be with some financial stability. Another problem is 93% of the teachers in the United States are Caucasian women, middle-aged Caucasian women from the middle class. How can a Caucasian middle-aged woman from the middle class relate to a young African-American boy? What can she tell him about social problems? Does she even know what's going on at home? See, it's not that the students don't value the education. It's that the problem is we don't have enough black males in the system to actually teach these students right from wrong, math, arithmetic, reading, about social problems, about political science. How many of these grade school kids have heard and read up on the Willie Lynches, the John Locke's, the Machiavelli, the Aristotles, Confucius, Sun Tzu, Confucianism, Hinduism, different religions? How many of these grade school students actually have and actually know deep within their mind that it's a world that's much larger than Baltimore out there? It's a world much larger than the south side of Chicago. It's a world much larger than the South Bronx. It's a world much larger than the Pork and Beans neighborhood in Miami. How many of these black students actually know and believe that? And when we're talking about crime, do you have anything to say about crime rates in the top 8 metros, top 10 metros, inner city blacks? Those that have offended, those that will offend, and those that have never offended. What do you have to say? When it comes to crime, crime is simple. Crime is very simple. You have to, these black students, you got to keep your hands out of the cookie jar. Now look, that's easier said than done. When I wrote my book, mentally I'm strong, and when you go read my book, you can see that I went through all those situations. I'm not going to name the situations, but I'm from the south side of Chicago. I went through that struggle. I grew up with no parents, went through high school by myself, college by myself, finished all of that. So it was some corners that I had to cut, but we had to get into a reality what a norm for black students is. Not having any felonies, any babies, any diseases, never having a credit card, no warrants, no convictions at the age of 40. No warrants, no convictions until you're 21, 25, and 37. No babies, no felonies, no credit cards, no convictions, no warrants, no diseases, disease-free at 40 years old. That's the new norm that we need to have in order for this new reality to work, and in order for African Americans and black students to actually make leaps and bounds in society. On the subject of family, how important is family and the family structure? Fill us in. On the subject of family, family is actually where it starts at, I believe. Look, so many times, or every day I hear that the mother is against the daughter's against the mother, the son is against the mother, the kids hate their parents. And that's because the parents not raising these kids no more. The parents, mama is running in the clubs, okay? Mama is running through the clubs. We know mom, she got an itch that needs to be scratched. She's running in the clubs. We know now that 5, 6 out of 10 black males are in prison right now while we talking right now. 5, 6 out of 10 black males are in prison right now. So if mama is in the club and daddy is in jail, who is rearing up the next generation of young professional black men and women? The streets is raising these kids. Do these young black students have African American role models, African American men that provide for themselves, that have some integrity, that have some short-term, long-term goals, that don't have those convictions, felonies, warrants? Do these black students, black young boys and girls, have that kind of person that they're around 150% of the time? Yes or no? Gangbanging and materialism. Can you let us know where you stand on these two issues? Gangbanging, sir, Mr. St. John. On the subject of gangbanging, the problem is that it won't stop. This is one thing that's going to stop us from actually getting to where we need to be. Gangbanging won't stop. Because look, my side can say, Mr. St. John, that we're going to put our guns down. Your side can say, look, we putting these guns down. Your side is going to say, look, we're going to put the guns down, but at the end of the night, with all the drug money being on the line and the drug business actually being $1 billion thing every day, it's not going to stop. It won't stop. As much as we're going to scream and holler about black student initiatives and we making these leaps and bounds as far as the instructors are concerned, as far as mentors, big brothers and big sisters, and Boy Scouts, I Can Read programs. Those programs are actually good, but can we stop the gangbang? I think that's a major problem. Black businesses, small and large, where do you stand? How can we further our efforts to grow and develop as far as black businesses are concerned worldwide? We got to learn to trust each other. We're not trusting each other. Look, in all businesses, there's going to be some loss. That's why it's called loss prevention. That's why it's called we're going to spend 13% on security. That's why it's called we're going to spend 13.5 on security. And loss prevention, basically. Loss prevention, annually billions and billions of dollars is lost out of the system from businesses, stuff being stolen, XYZ. So don't think because you the black man, I'm the black man, that I'm going to steal from you and you going to steal from me. It can't be that kind of program. We'll never make any progress. We'll never get anywhere. A wise man once told me that if you organize a little, get a little bit done. If you organize a lot, you get a lot done. But if you don't organize at all, you don't get anything done. Study. How can we accomplish this? How can we comprehend what we're reading? How do we get to step number 2 when it comes to studying? And as you and I both know, studying, this is a lifelong process. How do we get to step number 2? Don't stick to whatever your major is in college, psychology. Don't just read the psychology books and get your degree and say, look, mom and dad, I'm smart. Look downtown Chicago. I got a college degree. I'm down here to sniff some butts and let me in right now. There's 360 degrees, you know. You only have one. For the grade school kids, don't just stick to math, reading, arithmetic, history, slavery, math, reading, slavery, history, arithmetic, and biology. You're going to need to expand to some social problems. Try to get before your time. Ask your big brother, look, bro, you got to come off these street corners and you actually going to have to teach me some stuff. I'm not letting you out the house today until you read to me, until we both sit across the table face to face and try to learn some new stuff, till we start listening to some Umar Johnsons and 48 Laws of Power and how to actually strategize the art of war. Like I said earlier, John Locke's, your Machiavelli's, your Stalin's. I want to learn about 1941. I want to know exactly what Hitler did. I want to know about 1722, what Willie Lynch had to do in Virginia. I want to know about 1706 when Virginia was first started. I want to know about 1492. And prior to that, when Columbus was cutting through Central America and those Indians was like, I want to know about 2,000 years ago. I want to know about the debate that the Muslims and the Christians been having for the last million years. I want to know about creationism versus evolutionism. I want to know about my history. What is my history? How do I know that's my history? How do I know that's my history? You want me to believe that that's my history? Materialism is something that really has us in a spiraling out of control. We want to have fun with our money. It's about having fun now. It's about the 30-inch rims on the truck and the sound system. It's about having fun and partying right now. Partying so hard that everybody has to see me shitting on you. Everybody has to see me doing it. Everybody's got to notice it. So I have to go get the $150 pair of Air Jordans. I have to go get the $150 shirt from Pink Dolphin. I have to go get the $150 new baseball hat. I have to go get the $150 velour sweatsuit. But what about my kids, and if they going to college, what about putting that $150 towards my son's graduation from high school fund? What about putting another $150 towards these kids going to college? What about putting another $150 in my checking account? What about the next $150 if I put that into a savings account? What about if I had another $150 and I put that into a Roth IRA instead of giving it to the Polo Man and the $10,000 rims and the 2013 Ferrari? That's where we deeply divided. And as a black student, you have to really do some soul searching and come and try to find out, do you want to have all this fun? You know, the late great Jerry Falwell once told me that you're going to have to pay now. You can play later. But if you play right now, you will pay later.
Hold on. Say that again. Yes, indeed. You're going to see the rule of homosexual supremacy in the black community. In other words, any black man of substance over the next 10 to 20 years must by necessity be a homosexual. If he's not, he will not be allowed to ascend within the power structure. Damn. Because the white man does not fear effeminate or homosexual black men. Because, and for all intents and purposes, the homosexual and effeminate black man is the white man's bitch. Excuse my French. No, go ahead. And so we have to understand that. And that also means that when we raise our boys, we got to raise them as men. And one thing we have to understand, the reason why black women are mistreating the boys is because they are displacing the anger and rage and frustration that they have for the father onto the boy. And so what happens is he becomes, the object of ridicule. She doesn't even know she's doing it unconsciously. But when she looks at him, all she sees is the father who did her wrong. And unfortunately, by mistreating her son, guess what? She keeps the cycle. It perpetuates. Because now he begins to scorn black women by the way his mother treated him.
Right.
So the cycle continues. See, the problem with the black community is that we continue the same failing cycles. Every time a new African baby is born, we have a chance to rewrite history. Every time a baby comes out. The problem is we don't raise the baby no differently than we was raised. So if I'm on drugs, now my son on drugs, my grandson on drugs. I'm a homosexual, my son's a homosexual, my great-grandson's a homosexual. Because it takes a lot of willpower and spiritual inclination to change what was done to us. And one of the reasons why black people continue to suffer the same sickness that we've been suffering since the end of slavery is because we are so interested in changing our environment. But we refuse to change ourselves. System that is designed for your failure. You can't get water out of a rock, and you're not going to get black success out of white supremacy. Now, the contradiction in all of this is the fact that black people annually gross over $850 billion a year. We're the 10th richest group on the face of the earth. We don't own anything but the cash. We're the 10th richest group on the face of the earth. We are the richest black group on the globe. There is no group of blacks, black people in America, although we are only 40 million strong, gross more cash than any independent black nation on the face of the earth. The problem is we